Ugh. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Gasol's Garage. As always, I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Pat.
And we're freezing our asses off. It's up to 40 degrees right now.
With a quarter-inch ice on the ground.
Yeah, it's a bit balmy. Not very happy, but hey, work goes on. And I'm actually smiling. Why would I be smiling, Pat?
Well, the pieces we need to put the front struts together came in. And we're about to see if they're going to work.
So we're like this close to having a suspension on the car to maybe it can come off this rotisserie and actually be on the ground for the first time in almost a year.
Yeah.
It's been well, in a few weeks, it'll be a whole year that we've been doing this stupid ass project that he's put up with that he thought had been out of his garage a long, long time ago. He was hoping to be out of his garage a long, long time ago, and yet here it still sits.
Yeah.
So
we're not doing too bad. I mean, we're only working on it one day a week and hasn't been every weekend, so.
Yeah, pretty much though. I mean, here and there we've missed a couple days, but for the most part, we've been at it. So, and this is what it takes to do a car. You know, everyone wonders, well, if I get a car, it only takes a couple things here and there. No, it takes. You got to have dedication. You got to do it over and over again, and you got to schedule time for it. I mean, just like your family, just like your job, whatever. If you want a project car, it takes time. So
yeah, it's roughly 2,000 hours to finish a car, and we're nowhere near that, but.
But we're doing good. I mean, we're nowhere near finishing the car. We're nowhere near 2,000 hours, but we're probably good 700 hours.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never done the math yet, but we got a lot of time in it.
So anyway, so what are we working on right here?
Right now, I'm just putting the gland in the strut minus the strut cartridge to make sure it threads in. Make sure the threads are clean because somebody got a little excited with paint. And then we'll slide the strut in and hopefully it works.
So hopefully the suspension's built today. Yeah. Here we go.
All right, so here we go. Jeremy's putting the strut together as we speak. So what do you got going?
Well, I'm getting a lot of pushback to what I'm getting. It seems like it wants to go in crooked just like it was before. It doesn't seem like it wants to go in straight. For some reason.
Oh, the joys of building a car.
There might be some gunk inside or something.
Turn the strut. Did that change it?
Yeah, that did it.
So what he's doing is he's put the nut on the strut because the strut was going in a little crooked. So you put the nut over the strut and then slide the strut in, but not all the way, and then screw it in with the nut, and that will seat it. And it's not supposed to go in all the way, but it'll go in a little further than that with a wrench, and we will have one strut completed.
So since none of you probably believe it's actually cold here in Southern California, yeah, that's some pretty solid ice there. Also, just a quick update on the Hummer. I've put a few thousand miles on it now. Yeah, she's got a drinking problem, but I do love her completely. Couldn't recommend higher for someone to get it. But I wanted to point it out. She is all dirty. You know, it is about 1.5 miles up a dirt road coming here. But I do take it out in the mud. You know, it's not some pavement queen. No, she's being used what she's meant for. So love this thing. Could not recommend higher. You know, H2s are getting, more and more scarce. You know, prices are pretty much as bottom as they're going to be. So if you want one, now's the time. So couldn't recommend higher. They are badass. I love this thing. So. All right. Okay, so we've got this bushing, and because it's like 40 degrees out, it doesn't want to slide over its home, so we're gonna have to make it fit.
Otherwise, the strut will not fit through its hole on the car.
And it won't go down far enough for me to tighten this down.
So what we're doing here is we're gonna slide it into the vise. Get a good hold on it.
And the vise is keyed to be able to do this. So he's holding on to it with his belly.
I'm just gonna work it out.
So we get enough room.
You look like you've had a lot of practice at that.
More than you'll ever know. Professional.
Single life. Or would that be married life?
Yeah, I was single for a long time, so. Okay, so now we're putting the front suspension in. Here's those 2-part bushings that we told you about that we pulled, well, yanked out of the last one. So they just go big siding on that side, put the top one in, push them together. Much easier than the other way.
Could go without the sound effects, but all right.
Hey.
Anyways, that's the bottom plate for the top of the strut. That goes in here like this. Now we're gonna go underneath.
For the fun stuff.
Which, you know, on your car will be on top.
Well, hopefully they'll,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is actually still way easier than doing it the other way. Alrighty. Fun stuff here, people. And it's just a little bit taller.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
That was loud.
Working on cars is tons of fun. What's funny is, you know, we were crawling underneath the car to begin with before the rotisserie, and I was complaining about it. Now we flipped it over and I still have to crawl underneath the car.
Yeah, but you like it now.
Yeah, because we're putting shit together.
And it's a lot cleaner.
Yeah, crap's not falling all over me, which is kind of nice.
That's a huge plus.
Definite bonus.
Somewhere in the confusion, we lost one of the Allen head bolts, so just putting a temporary bolt in there, the same thread and everything, but it'll work for now until we get more Allen heads, or another Allen head, I should say.
Well, maybe just go ahead and buy all new ones, you know.
Yeah, so they match.
Yeah. All right, let's keep that tightened up. And these all get adjusted later at the alignment shop, so
yeah,
they don't have to be perfect.
It's part of your caster and camber adjustments. This is just to get the car on the ground and moving.
Tell the truth, Pat, this is just to get the car out of your garage.
To make room for something else.
Something that you love.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure by now you have a real love-hate relationship with this car. Or just hate-hate relationship.
Yeah, more of a hate-hate.
All right, good enough for now.
All right, we'll see you back up on top. All right, so now what are you doing?
Just putting the sleeve over because we got our bump stop in here. This is just the protective cover sleeve. Put it upside down, and as Happy Gilmore would say, go in your hole.
So there, I'm gonna hold it for you while you go down below.
Now we gotta pry that up.
Let's go ahead and get the strut bolted on first.
Oh. All right.
So now Jeremy's going back underneath to the top of the car to tighten the nut that holds
we're not even close. It's not even, you got a good inch to go down.
All right, so.
We're not even close.
All right, so.
I'm gonna get that pulled up.
So I guess first we will pry the lower control arm up, or if you're doing this at home, down. And since it's all new bushings in there, it's rather stiff.
That's not gonna work.
Yeah, go ahead and pry it up.
Huh?
Go ahead and pry it up. You're gonna need the pry bar.
I got it, it's okay.
Yeah, see, bushings are a little stiff now.
Especially since it's frozen out here.
Good, good, good.
You got that?
Now, back to going underneath and putting that bolt on that goes on the top of the strut.
Oh, there's plenty of room. Famous last words. If I can get this damn thing started.
Remember the key.
Oh, I got a key.
There's a washer that goes between the nut and the strut. That's keyed, goes into a slot on the strut. I'd show you, but
dude,
kind of hard from this angle.
Oh, there we go.
You all right?
Yeah, I was just barely catching.
German specs, good and tight.
German specs or Jeremy specs?
Yeah. We may have to reset the camera for this part. Since this car is upside down at the moment and we don't have the weight of the car to push up on the lower control arm, we need to pull up on the strut and pull down on the control arm, which is going to take 2 people, and that's all of us there is for now. So let's reset the camera and we'll get back at it. All right, here we go. Let's
Jesus.
fight this bastard.
Oh, hold on. Because that's just turning. That's turning easier. Jesus. That's way easier than the other one.
Yeah.
All right.
Ready?
This is ever be. There we go. Oh, shit. Turn. Watch your finger, man.
Let me, we're just gonna have to pull up.
Yeah, but
Dry it up a little bit. Yeah?
I think so.
Turn. Push it. Yep. You're gonna have to pull up like a gun.
You're rolling.
All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is start putting the races in for the bearings. These just press in. They make bearing drivers. I do have them. I can't find it, so I'm using a socket. It works. I'll make sure you're going in nice and even.
So yes, in case you haven't realized, we do need to organize this shop because there's been quite a few times during the making of these videos that Pat has said, I have the tool, I just don't know where it is.
Yep. Big thing's coming. You will hear it bottom out. Maybe not so much on video, but if you're doing it yourself, it will bottom out and make a nice distinct sound. Same thing on the back side. Sounds nice and solid. Now, make sure it's wiped out clean. This is the bearing in the back. I want to put some grease in there, get it pre-lubed.
You said pre-lubed.
Then you want to take the bigger bearing, goes in the back, drop that in. Then your seal goes in. Now your seals, you never want to put them in dry. That way they don't burn themselves up when they first start being utilized. Same thing, same socket.
Damn, look at that.
Almost ready to go on the car. One more thing I want to do is load there's a cavity inside of here. I want to load that up with grease while I'm nice and dirty. That just is like a supply for your bearings. It gets warm, loosens up, and gets more viscous, I guess you'd say. All right, off to the car.
All right, so here we go.
Now we're getting ready to put the hub on. I want to grease the spindle. Doesn't take a lot on here. Everything else is loaded up. I'll grease the surface that the seal rides on. Okay. While he's doing that, I'm gonna go grab some more paper towels.
Doesn't want to slide on.
I don't know.
Now the big problem is this is a sharp edge.
Yeah.
I mean, they cut it at Renegade Hybrids.
Here, let me do it. It's going crooked.
Uh-oh.
That's not supposed to happen. All right. As usual.
So what we just did, as you see, came back out.
That's a problem. Why? Why do we do this? A hammer?
Right?
Yeah. Now the question is, why won't the bearing go on?
Yeah, that's a bit tighter than the other one was. So, once again, the other side went together just fine. And this side is causing a problem.
Yep. There's a spring that goes in the seal.
So, since the bearing doesn't want to slide on, what are we doing?
Just cleaning up the surface of the spindle with some what should be emery cloth, but I don't have any right now.
Oh, you do. You just don't know where it is.
Correct. So just some ultrafine sandpaper.
Because it's real close.
Yeah, there's a ridge right there.
So where are we at?
All right, we got it to fit back on there like it should. Cleaned up the mating surfaces. Did a test run, it fits. Now we're gonna put the seal back in. Where is the seal, Vanna?
Right here.
Jeremy put the spring back in the seal. Moral to the story is don't force it. Okay.
Don't force it, Pat. Come on now. It went on, we swear.
There we go.
Now that you can tap with the hammer.
Yeah. We're committed now.
Let's put a socket on there.
I don't think I have one.
You have one, just not exactly right here, right now. There we go.
Test fitting stages, we did not need to do that. Outer bearing goes in. All right, crisis averted. Now we're sticking the retaining nut back on to hold the bearings in and set the preload and all that good stuff. Maybe.
Threads are a little fun to work with right now.
Yeah, they're a little chewed up. I always like to crank it down somewhat tight, then back it off and reset the preload on the bearings.
So what is preload for the people who don't know?
Preload just puts a little pressure on the bearings so they don't wobble, basically. But you don't want them super tight because that'll burn up your bearings.
Holy crap.
Yeah. That's not supposed to happen either. Let me see.
Are these Allens a little bit old by everybody?
No,
No?
they're just cheap. All right, there's that. Now you want to do the honors and toss the rotor on there? Your directional slotted rotors. No. I'm just going to put a couple lug nuts in to hold it on while we do the caliper.
And it's spinning nice and straight. So now we need the Renegade. Now, this is how it's gonna go oriented on the car. Renegade's closest to the spindle. And use Loctite.
Somebody must have got Loctite on the threads of the cap of the Loctite.
Stuff happens. You have the socket for this somewhere?
No.
No. Come on, Vanna.
What's this one, right? 19?
Possibly. I don't know that you're gonna get the socket. I don't know if you get that in there. No.
No?
Nice try.
One of those right there.
No, it's definitely the size. It just wasn't fitting in. So we're not building up the brakes and stuff, putting the pads and stuff in yet. You know, this is just mocking up basically everything to see how everything fits and get everything lined up.
I thought it was because stoppings for quitters.
But
You didn't say you wanted brakes. You keep changing things.
I'm so demanding. All right. So our beautiful Brembo, see, it says Brembo right there.
Brembo?
So don't call me liar.
I thought they were Willwoods.
You know, these are Brembos.
My bad.
Brembo people are gonna be mad at you.
Probably.
But no, these are right off a like 2002 Porsche 996. Got them, I think, from Redline Motorsports. Even then, they're still not cheap. I mean, if you're lucky, you can find them at a pick-apart or something. I wasn't that lucky at the time. So, anytime I seem to see a Porsche with parts I want at a pick-apart, it's already picked through by the time I get there. So, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. The problem is with the Porsche is, you know, all the scavengers know those parts are worth money. So they just go grab them even though they don't need the parts. Just so they can sell them to some fool like me.
And then they bolt them on their 914 and think they got a race car.
Hey. And for the record, the future, I do plan on putting coilovers on the front of this, but the kit is several thousands of dollars. And considering how much the rest of the car is costing, I don't exactly have that right now.
In other words, next paycheck.
I wish. Yeah, I'm gonna cinch it up real quick with this. He panicked last time I did this, but I'm just going down. I'm not going all the way. Just make it a little bit faster. All right.
Now, the final icing on the cake. You ready?
That's good.
I don't know what you worry about brakes for. Like I said, brakes are for quitters.
Do you have brakes on your vehicles?
Not really.
No, you don't have transfer case on your vehicle.
Yeah.
There we go.
Now I'm gonna put the dust cap on. And these dust caps aren't the right ones. We just keep it clean for now. More to follow on that. All right. Got one last step. And that would be to install the gunny wheel so we can clear all this stuff off the bottom of the car, flip it over, and set it on the ground. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So for those who don't know, these are gunny wheels. These are not the wheels that are going to be on the car. They're going to be on the car for now. These just have a universal bolt pattern. They're nice and skinny. So basically you just roll around the shop. They're great for around here because you can just use it on multiple cars and use the same wheels over and over again just to get shit around the car, around the shop.
And that way when we put the car on the ground, we don't have to have the real wheels on it and tires that might get damaged or overspray on them. These you don't worry too much about. And they're easy to roll because they're really hard rubber.
Plus they have little edges right here to stop so it doesn't just roll away on you. We'll see if that turns out to be a pain in the butt or not. We don't know yet. We haven't decided. But look, there's 4 wheels on this car.
It's still upside down, but
Hey, that's, semantics.
technically, at this point, it's a roller. As soon as he tightens those nuts up. So
What'd
it's
you do with the
kind of a big day.
What'd you do with the impact? Socket for this thing.
I walked away with it.
Oh, yeah, it does good over there on the truck.
Yeah. It's a moment Jeremy's been waiting for.
Alrighty. I've got 4 wheels. 4 on my car. Doesn't roll very well.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Yeah, well.
Sure that caliper's on there right?
Nope. Because you can see it digged in right there.
All right, more to follow.
Well, figure that out. All right, let's do this.
The windshield's definitely gonna clear.
Oh, that's an eerie feeling.
Yeah. How's the tire looking?
You're good, I'm not. Yeah, one more. Now we know. See, we're moving on up.
You always wanted that off-road Porsche.
I keep grabbing the bar with the grease all over it, damn it.
Yeah, me too. Good?
Yeah, you're good now. Golden.
Not for the fun part. You gotta try to keep it as even as possible.
Gonna try what?
Keep it as even as possible.
Pause. Holy shit, we did something.
I told you it'd be a roller.
All right, he was right.
Still not a stopper, but it's a roller.
And it's amazing on this car because when you have two things to do, right and left side, whichever one we do first, every single time has been easy.
Yeah, the second side just sucks. It's an ass kicker.
It's kicked our butt the second side each time. First brake, no problem. Second brake, hard. It's first shock, no problem. Second shock, hard. No matter what on this car, it's fought us the exact same way every time.
And
But, oh, go ahead.
And the reason we did go ahead and take it off the rotisserie is the actual hand crank part. It's binding up. Feels like there's some issues with the gears in there. So without the car, I want to take it apart and check it out, maybe grease it up and see if there's any damage in there before we go back on the rotisserie with it. We left the brackets and everything on it. That way we can just pick it up and slide it in and flip it back over again.
Well, I'm a happy man because it's been almost a full year since this thing has been sat on its wheels. And these are not the wheels that it's gonna stay on it to begin with. Like I said, these are gunny wheels. These are just temporaries. Like I said, good for just pushing around the shop. And they're awesome. I love them. Thank you, Gunny Wheels. These things are awesome.
Yeah, and it does. If anybody's curious, like I said, I've never used these before. Actually, on the ground with a roller, we usually have spare tires laying around. So much easier to roll this thing around with these wheels on it. Like 2 fingers, we can push this car. I mean, granted, this car didn't weigh anything, but before with the original wheels on it, it took almost 3 of us to push this thing.
Not now. This thing is light as can be. There's nothing in it, so.
I mean, it's nothing.
So, anyway, that's it for this episode. Please like, tag, share, follow, subscribe, and if you can, please give money to St. Jude. Peace out.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.